what is required is confidence, execution, and long-term ownership of its future. He challenges Pakistan to shift from dependency to ownership. Despite building nuclear capability under sanctions, Pakistan continues outsourcing critical national projects such as dams, ports, dredging, energy, software, and strategy to foreign firms. Drawing lessons from the UAE's transformation through institutions like DP World, Emirates, and NMDC, he advocates for Pakistan to build its own capabilities, execute with speed and discipline, develop full value chains, empower its global diaspora as co-founders, and adopt a national narrative of excellence rather than dependency. The message is very simple. All what we need is confidence. We are a nation who has the intellect, the power to do. But as I said, I'll repeat, we need confidence, we need guidance. And that is what the thought process of Mr. Naved Husain is. And that is what he's going to share with us now in his very invigorating and interesting talk. So I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Naved Husain before wasting any more time. Thank you. Mr. Naved Husain.
Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure to be here today. Just to introduce myself, I'm Amina's younger brother. So quite inspired by her and, so she requested me to say a few things. So my subject will be, it'll start off where Mr. Farhad Babar left. Because there we were looking at the great achievement of Pakistan. Someone raised a question, because I've spent a long time in Bangladesh, about India. So my answer to that is that in 71, Bangladesh had a population of 8% Muslims, 8% Hindus, 92% Muslims. In last year when Hasina left, and 6% were in the bureaucracy. When she left, the population ratio is still the same, 8% and 92%, but 30% of the bureaucracy was Hindu. So if we did not have a nuclear bomb, then we would be facing the same situation. We would be colonized and they would be bullying us. Now, saying that, so my basic thing is that to make a nuclear bomb, Mr. Farhad Babar explained what the country had to go through. And it was a question that under sanctions, under the whole world opposing it, bullying us, we brought in the technology, we brought in the know-how, and we made the bomb. So a country which made the bomb, why can't we use that same energy to build our future? So I've been living abroad for a long time. I'm presently living in Dubai. And, I've been working around the world. So basically, when I meet people, there's a general feeling that everyone wants to leave. When I meet the richest businessmen, they say we can't do any business here. When I meet students, so there's a general, pessimism about the future of Pakistan. So today what I want to basically look at that, how do we build our future? So I've taken examples of much smaller countries. If you take UAE where I live, they have a population of 10 million, out of which the Emiratis are only 1.5 million. Similarly, So I've taken UAE, but you also have Qatar and these other places, the GCC. I've also taken Singapore, and I've taken China. You know, how did they succeed and why are we failing? So basically, the points are what I'd like to discuss, that we, you know, we built the bomb, we defend our borders very well. We beat up India recently on the Air Force. But we rely on foreign countries to build our ports, to do dredging, moving mud from one place to another. You know, we go out, we get China Harbor, we get this, we have that. So apart from that, we don't bring the same self-confidence as a nation. So we sell ourselves short. And what we do is we export some of the world's best engineers. So you know, he was saying we don't recognize our engineers. We export them. But what do we import? Consultants and confidence. We don't, rely on our own people. So that's a base to be losers. You're starting off by surrendering. Similarly, you know, so the question is, why do we bring the mindset only for war and not for nation building? Now, if you take that, then basically, so if we apply the same seriousness which we did to the nuclear bomb on dams and, you know, water security, which is going to be a big thing next, on ports and dredging. Okay? I mean, dredging is moving mud from one place to another. So I'm working with the army because this was all given. I mean, can you imagine that Abu Dhabi ports manages the airport and our ports, a country of 1.5 million. Can you imagine that the same country, Dubai ports, is operating 70 ports around the world, including our ports, and in Bangladesh? And what are we doing, a country of 250 million who's actually made a nuclear bomb? We are going and begging that can you come and manage our airport, to a country with 10 million? Can you manage our port? Can China Harbor bring and do the dredging for us? So I find it, you know, that we are setting ourselves to fail. So we don't do ports and dredging. I mean, if we, you know, our textile industry has been one of the leading industries worldwide. And now they're all crying. There's no value addition. But we used to make, Bangladesh from zero has gone to $50 billion of apparel export with having no cotton. Same thing with renewable. I mean, our focus now should be on these things, renewable energy. We have 8 out of the 10 highest mountains in the world, one of the most beautiful countries. But, you know, we make sure there's no tourism, education, there's no, you know, our education is going down the hill. Healthcare, security, manufacturing. I mean, these are all, imagine building Pakistan like a mission. I think one of the biggest problems we have is bureaucracy. So we think that bureaucracy will save the country. That's the first thing which we need to fix. So what is the lesson we can learn from UAE? So UAE is not a democracy, it is a dictatorship. But the lesson to learn from there is the vision of Sheikh Rashid and the vision of Sheikh Mohammed. Their vision was based on speed and ownership. So if you go back to 1970, Sheikh Syed, you know, he decided, I'm just sharing what I'm involved in. So I'm involved in the Karachi port, Port Qasim, because the Army has taken over they are forming under the National Logistics Cell, basically dredging operations. So all dredging will be done by the National Logistics Cell, supported by that. The mindset was that let's bring a foreign contractor. What I did was that I got experts and we made a team of 10 people from Belgium who are champions at their field. So I've asked the national dredging company to take these experts, but you own the company. Because if you outsource it, and in the first bid, we are $100 million less. So number one, they save money. Number two, we'll set up a training center so that so these Dutch experts will have a mission that over 5 years to do themselves out of a job. So Pakistan will become experts in dredging and port operation. And the third will be that apart from saving money, to go outside, and Dubai Ports is operating 70 ports. So we should export know-how and technology to operate ports outside. It's a question of mindset. Now, in 1970, Sheikh Zayed decided that. They were going to give a contract to Van Oord, a Dutch company. He said, basically, just to quote him, that he said that our coastline is shallow, our trade is limited, our population is tiny. If the sea must be reshaped, we must reshape it ourselves. He didn't go begging outside. He made his own company. He brought in the expats to the company which he owned, and he built the port, and now that company of Abu Dhabi has gone worldwide. And what are we doing now? We are trying to bring contractors who will have, their interest will be not to transfer technology, so they want to keep you dumb, so that the next project, your port will go on their CVs, so they will promote their business. And if Sheikh Zayed could see it in 1970, why don't we see it now? Similarly, he said, that created NMDC. Now, Dubai did the same. Sheikh Rashid imagined that I used to go to Dubai in the 70s, and they could not handle 500 people at the airport. And at that time, he could see that we'll become a hub for tourism, we will create trade with our ports, and we'll become the hub, we'll create our airline, and we'll become the hub of the world. So it was a vision. The vision was of not dependency, but building internal capability. Not outsourcing, but building your own ownership, national ownership. Dubai did the same, and so now you have DP World operating 70 ports. A desert city became a global maritime empire, only with 1.5 million Emiratis. It was not because of oil, which we think. It was because of belief, execution, discipline, speed, and most importantly, courage. Because if you surrender before you start, then you've set yourself up to fail. Singapore, Lee Kuan had the famous MPH, meritocracy, pragmatism, honesty. He didn't blame history. He didn't look back. He was looking at not the rear view mirror, but the windshield. So he said he didn't blame history, he didn't blame the West. But if we start off that all our problems are caused by some other country, normally the West. He didn't blame it. So he didn't blame former rulers. Okay? Oh, our previous guy, he screwed up. So basically, he thought about it. So I'm not against paying, our government servants, our ministers, pay them more. But then merit, not connections, execution, not excuses, and nation, not family. So those are the fundamentals. Again, you take China. So China came with an elite power. I mean, every country has elite capture. So did China. But it had a national purpose. Their elite capture always has a national purpose. UAE, all these countries do not have democracy. But their privilege is tied, the privilege of their elite is tied to performance for the country. So the Chinese elite or the Dubai elite is based on performance for their countries. If they damage the country's interest, they lose everything, sometimes their freedom, even their lives. So the difference is you can't change the elite overnight, but the elite has to basically focus on Pakistan, not their immediate families, not that. So this is why you can see China, I mean from nothing and high poverty, producing global ports. They've beaten Tesla at EV dominance. And technologically, they've become sovereign, independent of any country. Their industrial hubs are powering the world. They linked elite survival to national survival. Now if we take Pakistan's breakdown, so we've inherited a different system which we need to change. So what is our system? Power is often inherited like land. Public office is treated like entitlement. Authority is used to extract, not build. Not just politicians, not just feudal landowners, not just bureaucrats, not just generals. Across sectors, across institutions, across decades, across governments, the system rewards personal gain over national gain. So this is something we must look at and collectively work to change. And when the top extracts, the bottom imitates. So I was having a haircut today and my barber, we got into a conversation. So I was hearing his story. And basically he told me that when the top extracts and the bottom imitates, then corruption becomes a survival strategy, not a moral flaw. So if you don't have food for your family, and the guy on top and everywhere in between, so then the whole country gets affected. So this is not about blaming individuals, this is about fixing incentives. A system, I'll speed it up, a system built on extraction cannot produce a prosperous nation. A system built on national purpose can transform in a decade. It will not take a long time. UAE proved it, Singapore proved it, China proved it. Pakistan can too, I believe. So personal proofs, Pakistan can build globally. I speak from experience. Okay. So I worked in the Silicon Valley. I mean, my experience with Fairchild's learning precision in industrial discipline and culture of execution. I built an engineering company here called Zishan Engineers in energy and petrochemicals. And that is now working across Asia and Africa. I moved to Bangladesh and built a company with 70,000 employees, zero carbon LED. I lead dredging operations in the Caribbean, Antigua, in Africa. And if Pakistanis can, dredge in Antigua, and these are many Pakistanis, in Bangladesh I took over 100 Pakistanis. Why can't they do Gwadar themselves? I help Africans in Cameroon. They have 350,000 tons of cotton, and they export it. We are going to add 1200% margin to it by converting it across the board and exporting garments. So the problem in Pakistan is not talent, the problem is our belief in our talent. The real enemy is now with our bomb is not India, IMF or the West. Pakistan has many external challenges, but none of them can defeat us unless we defeat ourselves. Our downfall is not lack of resources, it is lack of national purpose. Our constraint is not the world, it is that we don't believe we deserve better. The world respects nations that respect themselves. If we don't value our engineers, why should the world? And I can go on and on. I think we are running out of time. Let me see if...
I think we have to open the floor for question answer.
And then industrial zones, I think, we can go to the questions because...
Thank you, sir, for such an interesting talk which you just shared with us. It was really full of in-depth information for us, telling us कि हम बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं, हमारे में बहुत कुछ करने का जज्बा है, सिर्फ हमें डायरेक्शन मिलनी चाहिए. So with this note, do we have any questions from the floor? So yes, sir, please.
So my question is that now what should the plan ahead be, given your experiences in these countries and the point at which Pakistan is at the moment, the way the industrial sort of structure is. And I'll just give you one example of why the preference for consultants versus local companies is because sometimes the commission, you get a commission from procuring from outside. So given the situation, how can actually how can the country change its direction where the bureaucracy and the whole structure that is benefiting from the current structure is in power?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it'll be nice to tell me who you are. I mean, what's your background?
Your name and your background.
So I have an investment banking background. I did that. And then startups, I launched a fintech. And now I have a consulting firm. I've also worked in the government. So I've seen both sides. And I've lived in the US for 15 years. I've been back for about 19 years. And what attracts me to Pakistan is the potential, for an entrepreneur, all of the problems are opportunities. So that's
what
the
is
attraction.
your recommendation? I mean,
Yeah.
can we fix it or we can't?
No, absolutely we can. And I think my own recommendation or focus is actually on the youth, on education, because that's the foundation.
Okay, I mean, the way I would see it, that the country is not going to have a miracle, okay, which is, I think, what the whole country thinks about. Miracles don't happen. So it is waiting for leadership with courage, industry and purpose. We have to do it ourselves. So we have to train our generations who will say, and I'm talking about the whole population, that we will no longer outsource our destiny. We will build Pakistan with our own hands. No one will come and build it for you. And we will win, not soon, but eventually, not eventually, but now. I mean, if all of us sitting here stop deferring it, I mean, you've got fantastic experience. Let's sit down and see what we can do tomorrow. Pakistan has everything a rising nation needs. We have everything. We should be giving aid to everyone else. The only thing we do not have is except permission from our past. I mean, everything I look at is looking at the back. So tonight, together, let us give Pakistan permission to rise. we have blocked that permission. We have decided ourselves we are a failed state. We have no future. So the first answer is let's change our minds, give permission to ourselves, mobilize the masses, and let us start building Pakistan. It will become a beautiful country, I guarantee you. Thank you very much.
Inshallah.
Thank you, sir. And I think you got your answer कि हम क्या कुछ नहीं कर सकते अगर हमें direction सही की मिल जाए. With these words, thank you very much, and we come to the end of this session. And our next session is, I think it's on education now. I just announced that. So our next session is the future of learning, technology, and teaching. The first, it's going to be in two parts: school education and higher education. So first, we're going to be discussing and focusing on school education. And the speakers for this session are Dr. Fawzia Khan, Dr. Naved Yusuf, Salma Alam, Mr. Hassan Khan, and it's going to be ably moderated by Dr. Anjum Halai. May I request all the speakers and the moderator to please come up on the stage. Thank you.